Heyo.
Can you see me?
Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you did surprisingly good, dude.
Wow. Okay.
All the way from.
Good job, hotel room, right?
Yeah, give him a plug. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm at the Hilton. At the Hilton in Waikiki.
That's what Mondo toy money gets you, ladies and gentlemen. You go to Comic-Con and you fly privately to your own private island in Hawaii. No, I'm just kidding. You're taking a much well-deserved vacation with the family. I'm hoping you have a great time. Sounds like it. You look refreshed. You look happy.
I feel good.
How's the food?
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Entertainment. Everybody's having a good time. Family's happy.
Yeah, just eating drinking a bunch of tiki drinks.
Good.
Enjoying time at the pool, the beach. No, but I wanted to be here for this moment because it's a special moment.
Yes, 100%. If you guys ever question the dedication of the Mondo team, Hector, all the way from his family vacation in Hawaii, is here to talk to you guys about one of Mondo's proudest moments, Scaremare, Scare-Glow, and everything having to do with those. We got a bunch of our friends here from the Mondo team. I'm going to bring them all in. We don't have any time to waste. So I would say the crew that helped to bring Scaremare to life, you, Hector, of course. We got Bob Fulkerson. What's up, Bob? How you doing?
Hello, gentlemen.
Now, we noticed you had a wolf poster back. No, kidding.
We don't have time to cover that.
No. And Florian Bertmer is here, the great artist responsible for so much of the amazing artwork you see on your Masters of the Universe box art. Florian, how you doing, bud?
Good. Trying to stay cool in a triple digit here in California.
Yeah, we were talking about how it looks like you're being held hostage, but it's fine if you are. We don't need to comment on it.
I meant Hector looked like that.
Oh, okay.
The connection.
Yeah, I'll let the chat decide who looks more like a hostage right now. And then the legendary Tommy Hodges himself. Tommy, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great.
If you guys don't know, you probably already do know, but Tommy is one of the legendary sculptors here at Mondo who I think sculptor is not enough of a credit, honestly, for what you do. I feel like if it wasn't for your artist eye bringing things together at the end, all the designs, the concept art, the reference material, all gets synthesized by you, sir. And without you, these things wouldn't be as awesome as they are. So we're going to sing your praises tonight with Scaremare and Scare-Glow. And you're going to tell us just what a nightmare. Scaremare. Nightmare it was to work on something like this.
We should talk about that too. Some of the earlier names.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. Yep. All right, so let's not waste any time, but let us thank everybody in the chat who's joining us here on a Monday night. Normally, people don't do anything on Mondays, judging by some of the offices I've seen. But what's up? Evening, Thomas Crosby's here. Pedro Lopez. What's up, Andres Maris? Yep, Brian Carr, Hector from Hawaii. Let's see here. Topher Khan is stoked. Toy Talk. Brian Carr says use the Skeletor Tiki mug. That's true. You did screw up a perfect product placement moment.
You know what? I totally did. I should have brought it in.
Overnight it, Bob. And then let's see. Justin Sturrock here. Hector and Peter will always take the time. Wicked dudes. We got to honor this great work. King Panther is here. Good evening, Hector, Peter, and the whole Mondo team. So many new faces. Times are changing. Times aren't changing. He's got a whole sentence for a screen name. Rock says Bob's the man. I agree with that.
Thanks,
100%.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate that as well. Let's see. Yeah, so a lot of people are excited to talk all things Scaremare and Scare-Glow. Before we do, I just want to say thank you guys so much because the reaction and the response to Scaremare and Scare-Glow has been insane. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely. It's blown my expectations out of the water for sure.
100%, man. It's super exciting. When you get when a line as deep as the Masters of the Universe line and as historic as it is, and in 1/6, you guys supporting an endeavor like this is so encouraging because it lets us know that we can continue to take big swings when we're here coming up with cool new ideas. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just gonna show this kick-ass shit here. Hold on a second. We got right here some of the coolest Masters of the Universe stuff ever. All right, here is the Scaremare and Scare-Glow bundle. This is what I want to start talking about because it's everything, right? Like if you're here and if you've already got the bundle, thank you. If you're considering the bundle, we'll talk about it. This encompasses so much of what Mondo is when you think about it. It's a brand new idea, right? It's a new character. So we created something inspired by this IP we love so much. It's got it comes with a screen printed poster, which is the core, the origins of Mondo, and we also have an amazing mini comic, right, telling the history of this awesome character, or introing this character, I should say. And then of course people love their exclusives. We got some exclusives in that bundle, right, Hector?
Yes, the flaming Scare-Glow head and the flaming scythe parts, which kind of go and coincide with all the flaming elements that are found on Scaremare.
100%. Yeah, it's an awesome opportunity to be able to like say, hey, what we need to do is add these pieces in. They look incredible. So yeah, let's get into this, you guys. There was no Scaremare before this, so I'd love to hear from Bob, Florian, and Hector about where this idea came from. How did this come to be? How were we so fortunate that we got to do something like this? So take it away, gentlemen. I'll just go through these awesome pictures as you go through it.
From the brilliant mind of Guillermo del Toro. Thank you, King Panther.
He does get stopped at every Comic-Con. Guillermo del Toro, just so you guys know.
I get Russell Crowe quite often too.
He's an anchor being in our universe.
But not
Russell Toro.
But not young Russell Crowe.
Zeus.
Like Zeus. There you go. Yeah. Thunderbolt Engine. The idea really came out of like just brainstorming on what we could do that would be fun and interesting and different, and not just another rehash of the same thing over and over and over again. And what's better than the big gigantic scary death horse, the apocalypse kind of thing. Plus, Hector will attest to this. I'm a big fan of things with great big gigantic wings. I'm still bitter about Man Bat because his wings are shorter than I wanted them to be.
Oh, he wanted it short. He wanted it like 3 inches tall, wider.
I need him to help make my moose horns when I'm on meetings. Like you can see there. So it was really out of that nature and wanting to, do something new and different as opposed to, just kind of rehashing someone else's idea over and over again. And then, once my 2 minutes of fame were up in that, Hector passed it off and Florian got to drawing. And, Tommy got to engineering. Little known fact about Tommy, and I'll stop low being, is never give Tommy Hodges a toy because he will tear that sucker apart in about 2 minutes to figure out how it's engineered. So I think Florian, you should talk about what it was like to, actually come up with the concept of, what the rough idea of what we were looking for.
Yeah, I remember early on when you guys approached me, immediately we kind of knew it had to be some kind of horse, even though if I remember correctly, we weren't quite sure if it's going to be like a horse or something that looks kind of like a horse that has a similar body. I remember early on we had a few names, didn't we, Bob? I remember you had Fearwind and Illwind and a bunch of stuff that wasn't trademarkable.
Nightmare
with like a YTE, right?
Yeah, with a YTE.
And then Frightmare, was that one of them?
Frightmare, yeah.
So I remember the Nightmare.
Scaremare was the right choice.
Yeah. Florian, cool. You were saying?
No, I just remember the original project name Nightmare was kind of inspired by the German Nachtmare, which is like a creature that haunts your dreams. So
cool.
That kind of made sense. Also, if I remember correctly, I think the first name for Night Stalker was Nightmare. So it was kind of like it was supposed to be kind of like a nice homage, like, this could have been the mythical creature that inspired the mechanical horse kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like the idea for the horse was because what's this Scare-Glow's name, Cardinal? Since he was cursed, like I remember talking to Hector on the phone, I wanted the horse to have like flaming feet, kind of meaning like it cannot touch the ground because it's cursed to forever like go up in flames once it leaves the realm of the dead, so to speak. So that was kind of like the jumping off point. I remember Hector and I had a few late night phone calls talking about like ideas, And I think one of my inspirations came from Warhammer 40K, like the war horses.
Yep.
Definitely, and the horse of the apocalypse, the undead horse. And it's also kind of rough designing a new character for masters, because when you approach a new design, you want to honor the vintage elements and not go too crazy, too overboard. And so yeah, it's Hector kept pushing me. At first, I was a little bit more on the brakes. He was like, no, more. I remember that. I was like, okay, all right. And another thing was with the bones around the neck. I contemplated having the horse a similar paint scheme as Scare-Glow, but then thought, no, it's too repetitive, and it would take away from the uniqueness of Scare-Glow as well. So I decided against it and have just bone ornaments, surrounding the entire armor and everything.
Yeah, to me, when I started to see your concept art, I'm like, man, I think this is deceptively difficult as a design task, Scaremare, because because
it was very difficult.
Yeah, because we've seen like winged horses, we've seen like evil ghost horses, headless horsemen, yada yada. Like, there's a lot out there that to come up with something original that has a unique silhouette, that has its own presence. I feel like it's and then like you were saying, Florian, like you have to come up with something that could have existed back then. Think of what that design would have been, and then up-res that for it to fit.
That's a great point, because that's exactly. I remember having the talks with Florian about this. It's like, imagine if this existed in the original toy line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would it? He'd be buff, right? Because everything was buff in the original toy line. But it also, you're right. It need a recognizable silhouette, and I love that you have this picture here, because I think the flames on the head, and just the whole composition, like, really worked well together. Where it's like, now when I look at this, it's like, that is Scaremare. Like, there's no, like, the glowing green hair, the crazy purple armor, like the wings, everything is just really proud of just how all of this really just came together.
100%. It's an idea, again, that we've said it before. I think it works when it looks like it could have always existed in the franchise, and this definitely feels like that. It could have always existed in the franchise, especially when you see these amazing photos that Raul Barrero has taken in sets that we've seen him put everybody else in. It's amazing that it just works so well. The color palette, the aesthetics that link them together, no pun intended, the chains, it really just ties them in together excellently. Florian, was there anything when you were designing this that you felt like was either too much or something, and then Hector's like, no, like that? Like, can you give us an example? You said that Hector kept pushing you. Like, what's an example where you thought, you thought you had it, Hector said, no, go further, and then maybe that unlocked something about the design?
I think my initial design had less chains.
Oh, okay.
It had less chains. I was very much trying to keep like a very vintage silhouette, and it kind of made me push it in that round, like, add more chains. So, like, you pretty much let me do my thing for the most part. You were like, all right, push more here, a little bit less here. I don't think after we got to like the first initial sketch, there wasn't really that much in terms of like major changes, except for like the chains and.
There was.
Do you remember what you wanted me to add, or?
Yeah, you had an initial concept that was a great starting off point, and then from there we kind of, bounced back and forth ideas, and I shot you a ton of references and stuff like that. And then you presented another sketch, and then I bounced that one back to you, and then from there, I think probably on like the second or third go around, we were in a comfortable spot, and then Florian just did his thing and crushed it and made an incredible. I mean, if spoiler, if you get the mini comic, right, you're going to get to see some of these different designs that we did. So because the mini comic does come with a figure, in the back, there's a little bit of a behind the scenes. which we wanted to include. So you'll get to see Florian's first sketch, our in between, and then his amazing final stuff. And yeah, more chains. I really wanted it to look like a metal horse. That's really what it was. And I had already in mind what we were doing with Scare-Glow, right? Which was making him again, like what would he look like if he was on the cover of a metal album, right? Like
right.
black metal album.
Yeah.
And you know those who know, like I'm a huge Spawn fan, so there was some inspiration from there here.
That's why you wanted to.
So it just felt fitting, and it felt fitting to include some inspiration here and there from some of the stuff that inspired us as kids, and just up-res it. So it made sense to include some of that to connect them, because the plan for me at least was always to have them live together, right? Like this final Scare-Glow Deluxe was going to be intended to live with this Scaremare, and I wanted them, if you bought them together, to feel like a cohesive piece.
I'll tell you, it definitely does, and it's crazy how it's seamless. This version of Scaremare with no armor, I've said it a couple of times already, is horrifying to me. It's ghastly. It's so cool. I don't know how I'm not going to display it, this head exposed. And I will say, as someone who's been a fan of Florian's artwork and design for a long time, it's the second I saw this head, I'm like, Florian, dude, like it really feels like your design in 3D. There's something about it. It's just outstandingly your style right there captured, and I love it so much for that.
And this photo too, man, like it's just perfect. This is like one of my favorite photos that Raul did. It perfectly captures that silhouette that we're talking about, which is he's recognizable, or I'm sorry, she's recognizable even without the armor, right? Because of the flames on the head and on the ankles and stuff like that. I even love this pic even more because it showcases her little flame plugins for the wings, right? We were trying to be conscious about the fact that these wings are 54 inches wide when you spread it out all the way. They're huge. So we didn't want to offer an alternative in case people didn't want to display it with the giant wings. So little flame plugins, but it looks really cool. It looks really cool in this.
Yeah, I absolutely love the flame plugins. And I think there's a strong chance I'll be displaying mine like this. Ryan Dole is here, and he has a great question. Can you guys get a Mondo van and paint this on the side? I picture the Mondo, what is it, like a Ford Windstar or something, like and Bob driving it from town to town, bringing the Scaremare merch to people in different cities. I would love that.
Only a mid-70s Dodge.
That's it. There you go. That's perfect. Yeah, this thing is outstanding and so haunting in the best way possible. Like it just, everything in this photo is just creepy. So great work on that.
I'm curious, Florian. Did you lean on Battle Bones at all?
No, not at all.
No,
okay. Not at all. It's funny you mentioned that. It completely never occurred to me at all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's funny because because that way we can do Battle Bones 1/6 one day. But anyway, just
like and subscribe, folks, if you want.
Yeah. Great job all around on this thing. I'm such a huge fan of it, like so many people are. One thing I want to know before we move on is, what does it feel like, gentlemen? The three of you specifically. I know it takes a village, but Hector, Bob, Florian, this idea that you guys had. When was the first talks of Scaremare?
Over a year ago.
Over a year ago. So what does it feel like can you remember that day? I often have that where I can remember those early conversations of something that has come out. And what does it feel like? What does it mean to be sitting here saying we freaking did it and people are stoked on it? So Hector, if you want to go first.
It's surreal, it's one of those ideas. It's kind of like, it feels like when we were like contemplating making Battle Cat in 1/6, and it was like, are we really going to be able to do this kind of thing? And it came and it went, and it did so well for us, and it gave us the encouragement to try to flex, right, and do something special like this, right? And again, Scare-Glow was kind of like our last hurrah with Scare-Glow. We really wanted to cement that this is the Mondo version of Scare-Glow, and giving him a mount seemed to make sense for us. And again, this wouldn't be possible without all the people in the room right here: Bob, Florian, Tommy, and but also Mattel. I mean, their partnership is our partnership with Mattel is so special, and the fact that they allowed us to do this and to play in this sandbox and create a new character that then they were okay with us making it canon. We have a mini comic, right? That's I can't wait for those who bought this to get the mini comic. It's really freaking cool. We have a teaser.
I'm gonna get to it,
but it's really cool and the story is fun. Shout out to Dark Horse who did this, who made the mini comic for us. They were so incredible. But yeah, I mean, again, Mattel, thank you to everyone behind the scenes who supported this crazy idea.
100%. Bob, what are your thoughts now in retrospect?
How much time you got?
Go for it. The stage is yours.
Yeah, it's a weird, doesn't feel real, in I have these odd serendipitous moments in my life. We're currently, I'll try and keep this short. We're currently tearing down my childhood home, which was literally like 2 trailer houses, one which my dad paid $250 for. It used to be a chicken coop. This ties in, I promise.
No, keep going.
And when I was a kid, there was what I could only describe as a chandelier that hung in the back room. This little cheap little chandelier that had these little plastic crystals that hung from it that made great He-Man swords. I wasn't a He-Man kid. Didn't have He-Man when I was a kid, but my friend Toby did. And literally I was cleaning up the mess from tearing this down this weekend and found, I don't know if you guys can see this. Found this.
Hold on.
Wow. Found this sitting in this pile of garbage in my yard, which is a piece, because that chandelier thing's been gone for 20 years, right? And found a piece of this sitting in the yard. I was like, this is gonna fit perfect in my He-Man's hand, right? And so to go from that to stealing pieces of a lamp out of my mom and dad's house to now having a canonized character that I helped co-create. It's just it's just hard to wrap your head around. And let alone, none of this should have, I've talked about this with Hector, none of this should have worked. We shouldn't have been able to pull this off. We shouldn't have been able to convince Mattel to let us do this, let alone partnership with Dark Horse to create a comic book and writers and Florian and, the amazing work Tommy had to put in to engineer a flying death horse. And yet here we are. So none of it feels, even to this day, that while I'm on a stream and we were on the panel, it just doesn't feel real. And, like I said, finding literally the day before, finding something that shouldn't be a toy, but that was a toy from my childhood in a pile of rubble.
100%. And Florian, before I get to you, no, dude, Bob, so well said. In fact, it made me think that you need to ship that piece or a version of it so that we can
we're going to use it as an accessory.
Yes, why don't we figure out a way to make it
canonized? Yes,
the sword of Fulkerson, as a rare variant.
Fulkerson sword, I like it.
Yeah, maybe a rare weapons pack.
Hector.
Yeah. There's something there. Just don't lose that. We'll find and then we'll look back on this.
Shout out to Toby for letting me play with the He-Man when I was a kid.
Shout out to Toby for sure. Florian, before I get to you on that note, I just want to ask Tommy. I'd bring him in here. Tommy, so sculpting something like this, you got Florian's concept art, which I've seen it. To me, it's it's perfect concept art. It just has a feel to it. And, I've seen, not in our case, but I've seen in other companies where they show concept art and they'll see the final product and there's something lost in the translation, from 2D to 3D. What is it like for you to get something like that? What are you trying to make sure you nail? And how do you feel? I feel like you do, but do you feel like you put your own flair on this or what do you bring to it?
See, that's a lot of questions, but basically I remember seeing Florian's art and his art had a real flow to it.
Yes.
It almost felt longer. And then so I tried sculpting a horse and putting Florian's flowing armor or I should say aerodynamic. It was very like pointy.
Yep.
So I tried to put that on the horse, and I realized it doesn't quite work on a regular anatomical horse. So I did have to pull some things back from Florian's original elongated sketch to make it work on a articulated horse.
Sure. Well, it's interesting that you say that because I have seen that work. I agree with you. It has this flow to it, but I don't feel like there's anything lost. So it's like wizard-like how you hid that in the sculpt. When you're working on something like this, what kind of things? Like I look at a sculpt like this and I'll go, the challenging parts must be the armor because it's so intricate, or the challenging parts must be the flames because how do you know those kind of things. What is a misconception about something like this in terms of what is actually difficult to nail, and what are the things that you're when you look at this you go, we got that part, this aspect of it gave me pause. I was nervous, but we nailed it.
That's a very easy answer. It's the knees, their second knees, and then their ankle and their fourth ankle, and they all bend in different directions.
And why is that?
It's just hard to wrap your head around.
Interesting. Go ahead.
And it's like where's the knee, where's the actual ankle, and then where's the toes, where's the forearm, and then you think like forearms bend forward, but his would go backwards.
Right.
So that was the hardest part.
Fascinating. Yeah, it's interesting. Dude. Go ahead, Hector. You want to chime in?
No, I was just going to say that, watching Tommy take this from, a ball of digital clay, right, to where it was or where it ended up was incredible. Just the process. I mean, for those of you who don't know, it is very difficult to translate 2D art to 3D art, especially when, even though Florian's art was so dang good.
Yes, very detailed.
And was very, very detailed. There was still a lot of discovery there, right? And a lot of having to just guess how something is going to work, especially something of this size. There were so many times that we went back and forth discussing like, well, are the wings too big? Are they, do we need to make this bigger here? Do we need to adjust this here? How on top of that, we made all the armor removable, which is a challenge in and of itself. It'd be a lot easier to just key the armor in to its specific points, and then there you go. You have Scaremare and all the armor is keyed into place. But having it removable is another layer of complexity, which you have to take all of that into account. How is it going to hug the body? Is it going to slide off when when someone's on top? How is it going to sit? So Tommy came up with some ingenious ways to hide some keys in there, especially around the neck. You guys can't see it here, but you can remove. The way you put the armor on is by removing the mane on the back of the neck, and the armor keys into the neck, and then you add which comes with another mane that's on top of the armor, so that you don't lose the illusion. So it's not the armor sliding through the mane; it's actually like the armor is a separate part with another mane. So it's like, and the same goes for the tuft of flame on his skull or her skull, right? So it's like there were these clever ways of hiding how we keyed certain things so that things wouldn't fall off on it as well, right? And then really like that chest armor piece with all the belts and everything, how it connects is, that big one there is a testament to Tommy's skills as a sculptor and an engineer, because that thing is just sitting there because of physics and gravity.
Oh, no way.
It's not, there's no key. There's nothing that locks it into place. What's holding it into place is all the straps that are connected to the saddle. So again, it's really like all those little things we had to take into account, because at the end of the day, we still wanted this to be a horse that displayed without any armor. So the same goes for all the little flames on the ankles. All of those are removable if you really wanted to take them off.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're all removable. So like you can remove all the little flames on the ankles. You can remove obviously the armor on the legs. And then on top of that, he had to consider where all the real life chains were going to go. So it was a lot. So just wanted to point out and praise Tommy, because this was a very, very difficult thing to sculpt.
I know that when we talk about things internally, we're like, oh, that's a complex thing. You need to give that to Tommy, for example.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and it's awesome because someone, Manic Mike here, wrote, Tommy Hodges, our modern day Michelangelo, no cap. I mean, the truth is, there is such, as Hector just described, and that's why I love these streams so much, because even I will learn something. And I know if you guys are as big of toy nerds as I am, then you love all this stuff, hearing the behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, the amount of work it takes for something to feel seamless, right? When it's done correctly, like anything complex, you don't even think about it, right? It's only when things are off and they don't work because they're difficult to do that you notice it. So hats off to you, Tommy. This thing is just outstanding. And take a bow, sir, because you did it again.
Thank you very much. One thing I do remember is Hector's like, oh, you did a good job on Battle Cat articulating a tiger. He's like, you think you can do a horse? I pretty much said I'd kind of done one before, but articulating a fully anatomical horse was a challenge I was looking forward to. So I was very excited. And then one more thing before, in case you go away, the one thing I tried to make the coolest was the horse's face.
Oh yeah,
the skull face.
Yeah.
So I tried to. I don't think there's a close-up of any of the photos, but I try to give his eyes as much expression as possible.
It's clear as day. It's insane to me.
And that's it's made out of bone, so you can't really give it an expression. But I did make the bones kind of expression bones.
Yeah, there's like an exaggeration in the skull shape.
Yeah, it's like Skeletor, right? Or Scare-Glow's face too, right? In theory it's just a skull, but no, it's a fantastical mythical being, right? Like it can have expressions. And he nailed it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You killed it, dude. Once again. So thanks again for that, and glad you joined us because I think people benefit tremendously from hearing that kind of insight. Florian, so now we're sitting here on the Scaremare is in full release schedule. People are picking them up and they're stoked and they're sharing it and they're sharing their screen caps. I got mine. Did you get yours? How does that feel to know that it's something that didn't exist that you brought into the universe has pleased so many people?
It's incredibly surreal. I think it's going to take a while to kind of sink in. I think, I feel like one day I'm going to go with my son to Target and see some Scaremare from Moto Origins. So I see it in a cartoon, and I'm like, whoa, that's so wild, some reincarnation of this character. So it's super surreal. I can't really grasp it.
Yeah, and congrats, man, because we all know you're one of the biggest Motu fans out there. Everybody who sees your artwork knows the amount of time and care you put into those designs. I don't think you go that hard unless you really love these characters, and so I think it's like when we talked about it, it's like one of those like legendary basketball NBA teams where they just come together and they just crush, and it's like inexplicable, or like a band at their peak releasing a perfect album. That's what this feels like to me. It's like all the work that led to this prepared everybody for this to be able to execute. And like you said, Hector, I think that's what Mattel sees in the team and says, yeah, we want to partner with you. We want to collaborate you to bring a new fold into a new wrinkle into the fabric of Motu. So it's just an awesome thing. And we've only discussed Scaremare so far. I want to get into Scare-Glow too and show you guys some great pictures. Hector was talking about the comic. We want to show you guys some of that. And yeah, if you guys have
one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The paint for Scaremare. I did that in basically we were on a tight deadline. We had what's it called? Comic-Con coming up. We had the release. So I took it upon myself to paint this myself. And it was a challenge, but it was one of the most fun things. I think one of my favorite things that I've gotten to paint in a very long time, not only because of what it means, but also because like I've never had to paint something this massive before in this sense, in this kind of scale. And it was just really tough because of the deadline. I had like 2 days to do it. Also, just incredible to be adding my own, like how I envisioned the paint to be,
dude,
without having to worry about having to direct it or anything like that.
and it's a seamless paint job, and you'll have to forgive me for just skipping right over paint. Like I take it for granted that we have the whole team here, but like, yeah, the paint on this is part of it because it feels translucent in areas that it's not, and it feels like even when it's in a fully lit room with spotlights, it still feels like it's glowing, and I think those things are really, really tough. You take it for granted. Again, when it works, you don't even consider it. And then again, I don't think people are going to fully understand the scale of this until they get it in hands. You can see all the pictures you want. You can see the pictures at the booth that the toy tubers have taken. None of that's going to prepare you. I saw it in person, unpainted at Monsterpalooza for the first time, and that was like, whoa. And then seeing it at your house, right? When I went over before Comic-Con to help you set some things up, that was insane. And then of course, in the beautiful display we had at Comic-Con, just the massive scale of it it's daunting when you see it, and again, to pull off something that matches Florian's concept artwork, that lives up to the sculpt that Tommy put together, and of course ties into the history of the lore here with Motu. I honestly think that you're probably one of the most underrated painters in the business because everybody knows you for so much else that they forget that you're a painter here as well. So yeah, big hats off to you, dude. It's just outstanding.
Fully agree. Someday we're gonna have to film an entire documentary of Hector painting a piece, so people can see how much like detail and work and insanity he puts into what he does with these. Usually in that same kind of condition of like, I've got 12 hours.
Yeah. Well, I will reveal a little bit here. I hope you don't mind. Number one, getting to hang out at Hector's place is amazing because you got to see like the whole family's into it, right? So like Hector's amazing wife Hillary is painting. His son Teddy is going to be an amazing painter if he wants to be, because he's already like hands-on and seeing what it takes to go from start to finish on it. And so just being there and seeing what it actually takes to do this is really impressive, really impressive. So yeah, I agree with Bob. One day at minimum, we got to hook up a GoPro near your setup just to get like the start to finish, because I think it's hard enough to just be a great painter, but people have to remember that you're also running an entire division of a company here and managing and leading excellently. So it's just a lot to take in. But here's what I want to share. And it's probably like, it's like a humble brag or like, Hector is so badass, ... We were days away from Comic-Con, literally painting other things and getting other things ready and making sure. And there was a concern that Scaremare and Scare-Glow might not arrive in time to go to Comic-Con physically, right? I'm okay to say this?
Yeah,
and,
go for it.
Okay. And so I just look at him like, what do you mean, dude? Like, that's the most important thing we're bringing into the show. And well, it's flying back from Raul, right? Raul had sent it back from Spain, and we're monitoring the tracking, and it looks like it's set to arrive, and it's supposed to be here, but it hasn't moved. It's stuck in freaking, I don't know, the Atlantic Ocean somewhere.
Yeah, it was in Germany for like a week or something.
Which doesn't even make the wrong way. I don't even know which way they were flying, but the point is
Florian's people.
Yeah, exactly.
What can I say, dude?
That was is it Motu Dad in Germany? He's up there like just
He took
intercepting it. Yeah, he sniped the plane. But anyway, there was a real concern that we weren't going to have it in time to drive to Comic-Con with it, and so Hector had an unpainted one, in his garage. He's like, well, cancel Monday plans. I guess we're gonna have to paint this thing. I'm like, what? Like, just like that? He's like, yeah, we'll just have to paint it. And I'm like, holy shit, the cojones on this guy to be able to just say, yeah, we'll paint another one. And so hats off, because like that kind of confidence is inspiring, and it just is a testament to how confident and experienced you are. Like you can just pull it off. very much.
He's so smooth. He would have turned it into like a show and tell at Comic-Con. And
Yes, exactly.
people watching it painted live.
I'm just glad it didn't come to that.
No, me too. Me too. It felt like the
Glad we
Jordan.
did not have to do like a 24-hour paint session. That would
Yes, it felt like when Michael Jordan like showed up with the flu. He's like, and then he like went on to win that finals game in heroic fashion. So yeah, man, amazing. Hats off to all you guys, man. It's an honor to just be, around the gang who put it together. So as if that wasn't enough, we should probably talk about Scare-Glow.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about Scare-Glow here.
Yeah, and Hector, as you said, and yeah, I agree with you, Will. Applause all around. As you said, this is for those out there wondering if they should wait for the next Scare-Glow. This is the definitive, ultimate, and final version of Scare-Glow for Mondo, correct? In 1/6.
It is.
Yes, and we say that because
we're done. This is the third one.
Yes.
There was the first one that came out as a fun Halloween kind of thing. The second one, I definitely wanted it. I heard a lot of like the commentary against the first one, which was it doesn't really feel like the original Scare-Glow, so we wanted to give them a true classic kind of appearance that fit in with our 1/6 scale line, and I feel like this is the definitive one that fits in with what we've been doing for the last several years in terms of redesigning these characters, pushing everything right to the max. And I wanted to give Scare-Glow one more shot. Oh yeah, can you go to that one spinning gif of just no armor?
Yes, cool.
Because I think this just really shows off like what we intended to do here, which was, yeah, Scare-Glow has always been, a repro of some sort of body, Skeletor body, whatever, with the decal bones, right? In this case, I really, really wanted to do sculpted bones, right? And still make them glow, still have the same look and feel for Scare-Glow that he's always had, but this time with like actual sculpted bones. And I just think it turned out so good. and shout out to May, Sculptor Shelf on Instagram, who is on our team for sculpting this, because he did an incredible job. And I just think that I mean, personally, I love all the armor that we added, and all like the cape is insane, but I'll probably just display him with the classic cape and just like this, because I just think he just looks so bad.
May I make a comment?
Yes, please, of course.
Speaking for May, if you zoom in closer on another image, you can see all of his muscle striations. On this image, you said?
You just go to one of the white backgrounds.
One of the black and white ones.
Oh, yeah. One second.
That one right there. Oh, yeah, that works.
Yeah, zoom in closer. No.
Let's see if I can. I might be able to.
Muscle fibers and everything.
Yeah, you can see all the muscles.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
that was imperative when I was talking to Emiliano, who designed this for us, that I wanted all the muscle striations to be in between, to represent that black empty void that is kind of there, right, in order to get the contrast for the glow in the dark.
100%, yeah.
And also, Scare-Glow is taller than all of our other standard human-sized Mondo figures.
Yeah, he stands at how tall?
I don't know.
He's like 12 point. He's a little bit taller than the rest of them. Just like my hair.
Yeah. It's an amazing figure, dude. Hold on, let me just get back to normal. I'm not so zoomed in. There we go. Yeah, it's amazing. And so, yeah, we were talking about it earlier, but some of the detail on this guy is just rad. And seeing him paired up with Scaremare, it is like one of the demon horsemen of the apocalypse, right? Like it feels like it could. Someone mentioned it at Comic-Con that like they ordered it and they're not even collecting our Masters line because they just loved how metal it was, like you said earlier, that this can just exist in its own collection on its own, right? It's just insane. The chains, the cape, the expression. I mean, the detail on that's crazy.
Right? I mean, again, just that little part right there.
Yeah, I'll go back to it.
You can see all the detail that Tommy put into just the saddle belt and the stirrups, right? And then the detail that May put into just the armor, the shin armor, right? Like I can't wait for you all to get this, because I say this with no bias. It's, I think, one of the best two things we've ever done.
I
in
agree.
terms of it's everyone's skills at 120% showcase. And shout out to Alex Alva on our team who handled the paint on Scare-Glow, right? He did a fantastic job bringing Scare-Glow to life with paint, and it's not an easy piece of paint, especially trying to make sure that the bones are still looking weathered while maintaining all the glow, right? Because this thing glows. This thing glows a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, you have to get all that great detail without blocking the luminescence of it. I just love like a crop like this because you get the metallic nature of the paint here on the shin guard, the cool weathering of the wrap, and of course the aged look of the bones, and then it's like all this stacked up. For me as a toy fan, this is what I live for. I love this kind of stuff. All the textured layering in there, just a rad piece. So yeah, I want to talk about the exclusive accessories a little bit more. So I feel like we haven't really got a chance to dig into that, but we before we came up with the final pack-in for the bundle, we talked about like, man, it would just be awesome if to reward people for going all in on the bundle, we put in a couple things there that you won't be able to get otherwise, right? And it's not something that you would, if you don't have it, you still have an amazing Scare-Glow, right? Or a Scaremare, but if you do get the bundle, you're gonna be sitting pretty with these like flame. What are we? This like flamed head, flaming
accessories,
flaming accessories.
Yeah, flaming accessories, dude.
Flaming hot.
I think it was just we always thought it'd be like when I was thinking about it, it'd be a fun nod, and again, a bundle made sense, right, for the two characters, and a way to if you got the bundle, it was a way to just reward the people who wanted to get them both together, and it ties the characters even more because of all the like I mentioned earlier, all the flames on Scaremare's mane and on the tail and all that stuff. These are it just looks cool together if you display it with the flaming scythe and the flaming skull. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of cool accessories, someone said, let me see, they said something. Okay, I really wish he came with a key accessory for Castle Grayskull that was included in the other two because the others sold out so fast I couldn't get it. And then someone else wrote, oh yeah, the Grayskull key holder. Then someone wrote, yeah, it's not Scare-Glow without the key to the Grayskull accessory.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's almost like we might have the power to change that, like right now.
Interesting.
And just say that everyone who ordered one and orders one will be getting the key to Grayskull with their Scare-Glow and Scaremare bundles.
Holy crap. If you guys want us right now to pull the trigger and include that key, type Bob's name in the chat. I want to see a sea of Bob's name flowing through the chat. And then if we get enough of a Bob run.
This is absolutely the wrong way to motivate.
If it starts raining Bobs, I think we can make it happen. There's one.
It must be spelled backwards.
Yeah, exactly. If I gotta see a flow of the name Bob going through. I've only seen one. Okay, here it comes. There we go. Boom. Boom. Let's see it.
There it goes.
Let's see it. There goes the chat.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Amazing. All right, let's do it.
Yeah. So let's make it clear so everyone knows. If you get the bundle or if you decide not to get the bundle, we're not going to be mean about it.
Yeah.
If you just got Scare-Glow on its own, you'll still get the key.
The key.
So key is included with Scare-Glow on his own or with the Scaremare Scare-Glow bundle.
Exactly.
Almost like we planned that.
We'll add it to the product page at some point later this week so that it's official.
Yeah.
But you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. It's raining Bobs. By the way, Carrie just messaged us on team to say it's raining Bobs. It's raining Bobs, dude.
So much paperwork now, guys. So much paperwork.
I love it. Yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Amazing. And yeah, we heard you guys loud and clear. We had to double check to make sure it was possible. It was possible. So we are throwing the key in so you guys can have that in case you didn't get one of the keys before. You will now have a chance to get the Grayskull key. Amazing. Yes, people are very happy. We closed that loop quite well. Awesome. So I think we need to talk about a couple more things here. By the way, just the amazing head sculpts. I'm breezing by real quick.
Spend 2 seconds on this.
Yeah.
let's go back to the heads.
Okay. Right there.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Okay. I mean, I absolutely, again, Emiliano crushed it. Karak Newell has never really been showcased. There's like some, right? It's like never been, right, Florian?
Never been.
Yeah. So, we were just going off of some vague descriptions, right? So again, testament to Mattel for trusting us to bring Karak Newell to life for the first time, which I think this is pretty cool. Like if you're a Scare-Glow fan and you're part of, you love his mythology, right? He's had a ton of different stories, but this is a celebration of Scare-Glow. That's why it's called Scare-Glow Deluxe. So
wait, hold on. I have to pause here. This is funny. Someone wrote, the same person, Ryan Vegan Tech says, it's just not Scare-Glow without a merman. No, you should have started with that. Too late.
Yeah. So, I mean, just, again, a celebration of Scare-Glow.
Yeah.
So Karak Newell is a part of its legacy. We wanted to include that. We wanted to include an homage to the original toy head, right? So that's here as well, which in my opinion, is the best throwback head we've done. It like fits seamlessly to that body, which is really cool. So I'm really stoked on that head. And then of course the flaming skull head. And then my favorite is
talk about this one.
The zombie in between stage head, which I was talking to Emiliano. I was like, it'd be cool to see what Karak Newell look like in between going from Karak Newell to Scare-Glow, and what would that look like? And we kind of went with this, he shot over a bunch of different designs, and then this was the one we landed on. But I'm just like really stoked on this zombie Karak Newell head because it's just rad, and it glows in the dark if people didn't know, but it does. The whole face does. So it's, again, thank you Mattel for letting us play in this sandbox and add some awesome stuff.
I love it. It gives me like Army of Darkness vibes in the best way possible. It's so good. I just love the oozing liquid out of his mouth, and it's just so good. That's such a great head. So much good stuff here. Real quick, I see a bunch of questions in the chat. Hold them. We will answer many of them at the end. I just want to get through some of these pieces first. By the way, cape posable? Yes.
Oh yeah. Tim, shout out Tim Hansen. Our friend over there, who's made many of our Motu fabric goods. He outdid himself with this one. Seriously, it was a challenge with that collar, the scarf, the cowl, the shroud, the tassels. So like the tassels that you see there hanging from the shroud portion on his shoulder, those are wired, so you can pose those. The whole entire cape is wired, so you can put it in this amazing pose that Raul managed to get him in somehow. And the collar, can pop up like that, or it can go down for a more classic look, and it's connected to this kind of scarf thing that we added in just to give him more, just character and layers. But again, all of it is completely removable, so you can display them however you want. You can display them like this, or you can display them a more classic look. I wanted to give everyone options so that they're not stuck to just my particular vision of the character. There's other versions that you can get from this sculpt and from this
100%. There's some great photos that show like the vintage look. That there's the obviously with the cape, without the cape, with the stripped down cape. There's a lot of permutations available. And real quick, I agree with Skip Ray Blastbow. Our channel's growing. We're way crossed over 5,000 subscribers now. So even though we don't think of this as a YouTube channel that we're trying to necessarily grow on its own, it is. So thank you guys. And if you could hit the like button, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, subscribe, tell your friends.
Tell your mom. And then, again, great poses. Raul getting the best out of every figure. Here's an awesome look like you're talking about. Right? Like a little bit more pared down.
So it does come with the classic cape that we included with Scare-Glow Classic a few years ago, and the classic axe weapon, right? That was included with Scare-Glow Classic. So again, I wanted folks to be able to display them in this more kind of classic look. And again, I think I might display them like this because it's my favorite.
I love it. I love it like this. Yeah. I love anytime we do these kind of magic effects. I love it. Orko had some of the best effects, right? And these are just
Orko was kind of our testing point with this, and I really wanted to lean into the sorcerer dark magic part of Scare-Glow.
Yeah. Amazing. Let me direct our attention here to two things. Number one, folks, there's an amazing screen print finally available featuring Florian's Masters of the Universe artwork. Hopefully not the last. Hopefully we're just kind of starting to crack this open. But as part of the bundle, or you can order it separately. If let's say you guys are like, I love it, but I'm not collecting this line or the scale, but I love the artwork. You can pre-order this screen print featuring Scaremare and Scare-Glow together, illustrated by Florian now on the site. Or if you're getting the bundle, it already comes included, which is insane. It's a great feature. Florian, you talk about this composition a little bit, and I would be pretty intimidated trying to capture all the Scaremare, the wingspan, the Scare-Glow, everything, make it look iconic, and make it fit on a cover there. So can you talk about the layout here and what you thought about?
Well, let's just say I am in no rush to ever draw a character with that many chains anytime soon. I'm like, oh, and then so when I got the digital pictures from Tommy, I was like, oh my god, he added even more detail. And now we're gonna capture all that in the drawing. Like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, the idea was basically, like a classic enter Scaremare, like he's like in the underworld, skulls and bones, Tartarus or whatever you want to call it, very regal pose, I would say. Yeah, you can see the bottom right, you can see the pile of bones and everything. But yeah, just like the black and white line art took so long because I really wanted to capture every detail that was in the sculpt. And
yeah, you crushed it, dude.
Yeah,
it's incredible. One of my favorite pieces you've done for us.
100%. If you've never seen Florian's work up close in a screen print and you're getting this print, you're going to be in for a treat, because his stuff is amazing at a distance, but up close it's a whole different thing. Just like if you're someone who loves illustration or an illustrator, like just pouring over all the texture that he brings in with the line work, the intricate detail, everything is poured over and considered. So I'm so happy that this is part of the bundle, because not only are you guys going to be able to get a great display set up with your screen print, Scaremare, Scare-Glow, it's going to be awesome. But again, just to get an amazing Florian Bertmer original print is a reward in and of itself. And it's not
years
just
in the making.
Wait, go ahead.
I said years in the making, so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak. It's been a while, right? We wanted to do this. It's not just an amazing screen print, like Hector was saying before. It's the cover, right? And someone wrote this, and I just can't. I don't know if this is serious. Agent 37, which came with a comic. It does come with a comic, and so yeah.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. It's the cover of the Scaremare mini comic that is, as Hector was saying, created to canonize and build lore around Scaremare. Produced by Dark Horse Comics, Tim Seeley writing it. So if you're familiar with his name, if you're a fan of the Masters comics, this thing is awesome. I think there is a preview on the
next image.
It was next image. Yeah, there it is. Boom.
Yeah.
And the thing is super rad. It's just so crazy to see it in action. Like, for some reason, seeing it in 2D in a comic almost makes it more real than seeing it in 3D as a figure. But when you see it all baked into all the comic and the sound effects and the text and the dialogue, it's just so rad. So this is just a sneak peek. There's more. And like Hector was saying, in this mini comic, which mini comics are so synonymous with Motu, at the very end, you'll see some great concept art and behind the scenes stuff for Scaremare. Super happy about this, right?
Oh yeah. I can't wait for you all to read it. It's a great little intro to Scaremare. I wouldn't say it's a complete story, but I would say that it's a great intro to Scaremare and a little bit of lore for Scare-Glow. So it's really great. The artwork's incredible, and it's a really fantastic story by Tim. We again, big shout out to Dark Horse for working with us on this.
Yeah.
And when you all get this, I'm sure I would love to see people taking pictures of it and all that kind of stuff, because it's really surreal to see us be able to include a mini comic, and then also, let alone work with one of the best comic houses in history, Dark Horse, to create it. So
Yeah,
Amazing.
no, it's perfect, and it's just a testament to how thoughtful this process has been. Like everybody involved, the whole Mondo team, many more people that are not on the stream have put tons of effort and thought and work into this. I mean, we didn't even mention that Funko was so awesome to include Scaremare and Scare-Glow in their Funko Pop line. In the brand new game Funko
Which is
Fusion.
awesome.
Yeah,
He's
it's
already
so
a
awesome.
pop. It's
Yeah,
she and Scare-Glow are pops now.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Scare-Glow I think was a pop already before, but Scaremare wasn't for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So rad. Yeah, and then if you saw the previews for the new video game Funko Fusion, they're in the game as well. It's an amazing piece. It's a whole effort that needed everybody involved. Here's that awesome, by the way, that vintage look real quick, because I just had to show this. This is going to be tempting to display them like this. It was so good. But yeah, before we got to get going soon. I know Hector has a whole Hawaiian island to check out with his family. We can't keep him here. He's not here for his health, you guys. So want to make it worth it. I see a lot of questions in the chat. If you asked a question, ask it again. I'll try to pull some before we get going. You guys can ask Hector. Maybe Bob wants to answer a question if you got one. For any of the folks in the panel, I see a bunch of people. Okay. Questions about Evil Lynn. Evil Lynn. Are we getting evil? Someone wrote, is Evil Lynn this year or next year? Because they've seen the concept art out there.
Yeah, we shared the concept art last year, sometime or earlier this year. I think it was Decon, right? Last year, and we're working on it. On it. So I mean, keep your eyes peeled. I mean, I think this year is a high possibility.
Okay, there you go. So it's not officially announced. We don't know the exact date, but we are working hard to try to hit this year with it, and a high possibility is what Hector said. Yeah. So there you go. We haven't forgotten. Let me see. What else I wanted to get. Hey, this is a good one. Anything you can tell us about 2000X?
Yeah,
that's true. We haven't really had a chance to break that down at all.
It was big news for us, right? To finally be in the 1/12th scale, right? With anything Motu. Again, thank you, Mattel. But we're so excited about this line. What we revealed on the panel was the early concept art for He-Man, right? So what you can expect is the same amount of detail, the same amount of paint application, the same amount of everything that we put into our 1/12th, just shrunken down about half the size, a little over half the size. And it opens the door for us to really explore the 2000X world, which hasn't really been explored too much. I know that we draw inspiration for our 1/6 scale line from all corners of Motu, but this will be a true 1/12 2000X line that we're really excited to explore some of these more fan favorites, and as well as more like the more like obscure characters, right? That's, I think, that what this scale allows us to do.
100%. Yeah. Pixel Dan did a great video about that. How it was his favorite announcement of Comic-Con was that 2000X was coming. Yeah, he did. It was a solo video. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's great. No pressure. And then Thomas Crosby's asking, will Mondo shirts be of sale at D23? I need one. Not at D23, but you guys, we heard you loud and clear. Nolan Fleming, our incredible artist and designer in-house, blessed us with some amazing designs for Mondo shirts and pins and hats for Comic-Con. The pins were on sale. People loved them. They flew, so definitely look forward to more pins. And the shirts are coming very, very soon. So stay tuned on the shirts announcement. We are going to be bringing back shirts and pins and hopefully hats at some point, but shirts very soon. And we hear you. You guys have been asking, blowing up my DMs for Mondo shirts, and rightfully so. They're so good. Okay. When are the D23 reveals? Have we revealed them yet?
I think we revealed them on a blog post. So we did reveal that it's Uncanny Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
We did have Uncanny Rogue on display on Sunday as a surprise at Comic-Con. And Uncanny Omega Red and Player 2 variant of Juggernaut, which is the black suit variant. Very super limited release that we're doing for that. And I think just stay tuned this week for more pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Yeah. And then
D23 starts Friday. So
yeah, you're gonna see a lot of that very, very soon, and they look excellent. So yeah, if you missed out on Rogue, that's a great opportunity there for you. There, check the chat, Hector, if you get a chance. Let me see. Someone says, "When's the Lion-O pre-order going up?" I'm pretty sure that's this month, but more news soon. Let's see. Someone wrote mini comics with 2000X. You never know. It's a good idea. Omega Red, yes, 100%. So yeah, I'm really.
If you manage to go to D23,
okay, good.
There, we will have some warehouse finds there. Just announcing.
Oh,
that.
Okay, cool.
No, like kind of like what we had at Comic-Con. We have very, very few of some of these select characters and figures, right? So we will have some warehouse finds at D23. So if you're there, come say hi. I'll be there, and come snag one of these already sold out figures that.
Yeah.
One question that came up a couple times, guys, that I didn't see get answered, and I'll ask it in a very Bob way. Hector, on a scale of no glow to what is legally allowed, how much is Scare-Glow going to glow?
I mean, which both Scaremare and Scare-Glow glow very brightly. I mean, if you have our classic Scare-Glow, right, or our Scare-Glow Sufubi, it glows just as much as that, basically. So
nice.
It's a very bright glow. I mean, these photos that Raul are taking, they're not photoshopped or enhanced to enhance the glow. Like, this is true, like what it looks like in this type of lighting situation. So Raul does a very good job of trying to capture in camera what our glows are. So I think that answers the question. You know.
Oh, Adam in the chat. I care about old man Bruce.
Yeah. So questions about the size of 2000X in general. I think if you guys give us a chance, we'll be revealing all that kind of stuff in due time.
112, 112.
Right.
112 is a 6.5, 6.75 on average, right?
Yeah.
That's how big a 112 line is. It's the high end 112 line. It's not an action figure. It's not mass market or anything like that. It is going to be our figures that we do in 1/6 with that attention to detail, fabrics, chains, Florian, high-end paint deco, and all that kind of stuff will just be shrunken down to that 112 format.
All right, we got to get going here in a second. So let's last question here. Anything on the bad guys from 2000X Wave 1? I'll say we did say that the first wave is going to be He-Man, right? And 2 bad guys, but we haven't announced the bad guys. Hector, anything you want to say on that?
No, just expect fan favorite and then an unexpected villain at the same time. That's kind of where we're going with here. Yeah. And then we did announce that in Wave 2, which will also come out next year, it'll be Skeletor with 2 good guys, which is the same kind of cadence, like a fan favorite, obvious kind of choice, then more of a deep cut.
Yeah, I'm excited for those deep cuts, you guys. Yep. All right. We got to go, you guys. We can't keep Hector from Hawaii. What kind of animals are we doing this? But just in case, you haven't done so yet and you're considering it, Scaremare and Scare-Glow, they are available now on mondoshop.com. Not forever. It is a timed edition. It was a long timed edition, right? We gave a nice chunk of time there. What was it, like 3 weeks by the time it wraps up?
It ends on Friday. Yep.
Ends on Friday. It ends, August 9th, this Friday at 11:59 a.m. Central Time. Please do yourself a favor and translate that to your time zone. Don't ask me to do it. I will ruin it. But again, big shout out to Alex Alva on the paint for Scare-Glow, Emiliano for incredible design on Scare-Glow, Florian for your amazing artwork, not only for the design of Scaremare, but the packaging art, the comic cover. May crushing it on the sculpt for Scare-Glow, and Tommy just an incredible job doing the impossible sculpting Scaremare. It's like I said, it's not enough to say you guys are sculptors. You guys are amazing artists, and that's why everything just looks incredible. But don't miss it. If you loved everything you heard tonight, go please to mondoshop.com and grab yourself either Scare-Glow, Scaremare, or the bundle and get all those great exclusives. I don't see if you're on the fence about. If you're going to get one and maybe the other one, don't miss out on those exclusives, because I just know the collector cycle. It's like I don't need. And then I see you in the groups like 2 months later going, oh, what was I thinking? I should have done whatever it was. So just know what kind of collector you are and plan accordingly is the best advice I can give you from one collector to another. But to all you guys, Hector, Bob, Florian, Tommy, thank you so much for joining tonight. And
Peter, real quick.
Oh, do we want to give something away?
Yeah, let's do a gift card if possible.
So what you're saying is like let's grease the wheels a little bit for someone to get themselves.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 people. I don't know.
All right, okay, we'll do.
I'm in Hawaii. I feel if we if I can be generous.
All right, Hector deems it. We're gonna do 2 gift card giveaways. So I need trivia. Let's do Comic-Con trivia to see how many people were paying attention to Comic-Con trivia. How about that? All right. Yeah, so the first one will make it easy. Should we make the first one easy?
Sure.
Okay. Who was our surprise guest on the Comic-Con Mondo behind the scenes panel? Who was the surprise guest? And you don't have to answer this part, but how the hell were we so lucky? Who was the surprise guest on the panel with us? First person to answer that. And of course, I have to go to the YouTube now and check because the chat does not operate the same way. Here,
it was Alex Brewer.
That's true. That was one of them. That's for sure. But let's see. The first person to chime in, there's a million people here. Looks like it was Johnny Valderramos. Johnny Valderramos, you are the winner, sir. I got you right here. You were the first one to say Jim Lee. Thank you. And you did show up to a couple of those panels. So thank you, sir. So Johnny, just email support. Or wait, is it support@mondoshop.com, right? Support@mondoshop.com. Let them know you won a $50 gift card here in the stream. And I expect you to use that on one of these amazing 1/6 releases. All right. That was an easy one. A little bit of poetic justice because he missed one time because I read the wrong person's name. All right. Second one's a little harder. Again, Comic-Con trivia. What is... Name the show featuring the characters we revealed for our latest entry into Mondo Squads. So name the show. And so you have to pay attention to somebody's video. We're doing Mondo Squads. Daria and Jane were the first ones that we released. Then next to Daria and Jane, there's a new cast of characters that are going to be the next. I don't see anybody with. Oh, do I see it? I do, but I don't see the accurate name of the show. Let's see. The first person with the accurate name of the show here is. Let me get this right before they'll crucify me if I get it wrong. I think it's Automatom. Yes, Automatom. You got it, sir, or ma'am, or madame. Automatom is the winner. Congratulations. I'm looking for your name here to highlight it. Here it is. You are the first one to get it right. That's right. Our Real Monsters. Congratulations, Automatom. You won $50 gift card to mondoshop.com. Just email support@mondoshop.com. But yeah, that's one of our big reveals at the show is that the next entry into Mondo Squads, the product line where we are giving you the whole collection of characters in one box. Our Real Monsters is the next entry, and we are so excited about that. So congratulations, Automaton and Mr. Valderramos. Please don't forget to email and get your gift card. All right, that's enough.
Alrighty.
That's enough. Let's say goodbye. Thank you guys again for joining us. Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Florian. Thank you, Tommy. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Peace. Keep waving. Keep waving. Keep waving.